Good morning, traders. What is up and what's going on? Happy Money Monday. That's right, baby. It is Money freaking Monday, and I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Are you guys fired up for an awesome day ahead? Are you guys excited for a brand new day? A brand new week full of brand new opportunities, team? Because I tell you what, I'm very excited to rock and roll and to absolutely crush it today on this beautiful Money Monday. So once again, good morning and happy Monday, traders. It is December 6th, 8:58 in the morning. We have about 32 minutes until the market opens, and boy, oh boy, do we have a nice little watch list to talk about today, guys. So we're getting ready to dive into our penny stocks of the day, and then we're going to dive into some stocks that I'm watching for options, and then talk about the overall market as well, looking at the SPY, the Qs, and then referencing the VIX as well. Hit me with a good morning inside of chat. We got Kids King, we got Corey, Mexoids, Texas Cowboy, The Art. What's up? Good morning. Everybody over on YouTube, hit me with a big old good morning as well. What's up? What's going on? How we doing today? Are we fired up? Are we excited? Are we ready to hit it hard? Because tell you what, team, I'm fired up myself. I'm ready to hit it hard. I'm ready to attack this day, and I'm ready to continue this momentum of discipline December, right? Last week, I tell you what, team, was an amazing week here inside the chat. It was an amazing week in the market. Each and every one of you guys staying disciplined, locking in those big time profits, and most importantly, those consistent profits. So I'm very proud of each and every one of you guys. Keep up the amazing work. Keep rocking and rolling. Keep locking in those consistent profits, and let's keep up this momentum throughout the remainder of this month, and let's carry that positive momentum into 2022 and make 2022 your best year yet. So team, right now, full transparency, I am currently short on ACET, and I'm currently down about $300 on ACET. This must have been a misprint because I was not able to get out at 1330, 1340, or even 1350. I have a 1372 cost basis to the short side. It's easy to short. I saw one big head and shoulders formation. Looked like it was going to start cracking here. It never cracked. I mean, on the chart, it looks like it cracked, but I was not able to get out when I was placing my orders. When the stock was down in the low 13s, 1320, 1330, I was not able to get out. So here, momentarily, I'm going to have to go ahead and close this position, and we can go ahead and dive into our day. So I just got filled. I think I should have held on to it a little bit longer, in my honest opinion. I think if I was focused on this trade and I can manage this trade properly, I think I should hold it a little bit longer. But since we're getting ready to dive into our commentary, I do not want to be distracted to be able to manage this trade properly. So unfortunately, I'm starting off my day in the hole. I'm down $600 to start the day, guys. Fully transparent, right? I took a trade on ACET off the head and shoulders. I just closed it, but I think I'm getting out too soon. I think I could have worked with this a little bit better. I could have averaged into my position, brought my cost basis up into the 1380s. But like I said, as we're getting ready to dive into our commentary, I cannot multitask like that. I cannot manage my trade appropriately and make sure that you guys get my undivided attention as well. So right now, I did take an unfortunate loss, thinking that this could easily turn into a winner. We have room back down to 13 bucks, and that was my target on ACET. It was going to be back down around 13 and then 12.60 to cover my short. But I did take a loss. I did take a trade on CFVI. And this CFVI trade pretty much reminding me that I need to stick to the short side, right? The last couple of weeks, I've been shorting stocks like crazy. Almost 90% of my trades have been short. And out of those 90% of my trades being short, 80% of those shorts occurring with mid to large cap stocks. You're talking like larger cap stocks like AMD, Nvidia, Microsoft, CRM, right? Larger price stocks, we've been absolutely crushing it on lately. That's where my edge is working. That's where I'm making consistent profits. And like I said, 90% of my trades to the short side. So CFVI is a great reminder, right? It was a $180 loss. CFVI is a great reminder here off the higher low for the downtrend break. There was 3 separate reasons for me to get involved with CFVI. Again, it's just a nice reminder that, hey, stick to what's working in this market. What's working in this market, Josh? It's not going long for you on penny stocks. Going long on penny stocks is not where you're making the money. Where are you making the money? You're making it with mid-cap stocks and large-cap stocks. Where are you making most of your profit? Shorting. So I need to really prevent going long on these small-cap stocks and just apply the strategy that's been working well for me with penny stocks. And what that is shorting the high a day for the rug pull. How many times over the past couple of months have we seen a stock set up beautifully? You could say a bull flag, a downtrend break, right? We call that the boom, boom, bang here inside the chat. How many times have we seen a very strong bullish setup? All the criteria is being met to a T. You see the move, and then right after you see that false move, you see a nasty rug pull, and sometimes the stock will get halted to the downside. I've seen that a lot. I've seen that so much in this market. So what have I done to be able to adapt? Basically, what I've done is I'm not taking these very great setups to the long side. These setups that look fantastic, these setups that look great, I'm not taking them to the long side. Instead, I'm shorting for a false move, for a rug pull, and that approach has been working beautifully. So I'm going to stick to what's working. I'm going to be looking at these mid to large cap stocks, really focused on options with you guys as well, or shorting these stocks versus going long on these stocks. All right, so again, I just wanted to come ahead and break down what I've been doing this morning, right? Building our watch list, getting us prepared for the day. 2 trades, 1 long on CFVI, small 185 loss, and then ACET, which was kind of odd, right? ACET, you know, it got pulled down pretty aggressively, all the way down close to the low 13s, and I could not get filled on that position. It would not fill me as I was trying to get out. So unfortunately, starting my Monday red, but guess what, baby? The day's not even started yet. We still have such a long time in this beautiful market. So the day's not even close to being over. The day is only just beginning, and I'm very optimistic and I'm very motivated to get out of this hole and have some fun and lock in some profits, baby. So once again, good morning. Hit me up over on YouTube with a big old good morning. Where are you guys tuning in from? We got PXS. Welcome back. Steven, Jakey, Lakey, Daniel, Father, Gudio, Travis. We got some new people over here as well. Ed, what's up? Diego, Halfback, what's up? What's going on? Good morning. And inside of chat, what's up? What's going on? And good morning. Let's not waste any more time, guys. We got about 25 minutes till that bell. Let's go ahead and talk about what we have going on today. Let's start with our penny stocks. All right, we have CFVI. All right, so why is CFVI moving on up again? So, video platform Rumble last week announced a SPAC deal. The CEO confirmed Friday a partnership with a SPAC linked to Donald Trump. What happened? Rumble has increased its monthly active users from 1.6 million to 30 million in 1 year, right? In 1 year. And so now there's going to be a potential SPAC with Rumble, and it's linked to Mr. Trump. So CFVI had a lot of hype on Thursday, right? It completely got beaten down. I mean, this stock from around $9 to $14.38, closing disgusting, gapping down slightly, pulling back, and then running here end of day on Friday and gapping up massively this morning here in pre-market. CFVI is gapping up 21%. That's not bad, right? At one point, it was up towards around $16 at these pre-market highs here on CFVI. This stock is trading 11 million shares in pre-market. On average, it trades 2.4 million shares, and there's a 30 million float. So it's a low float stock that has high relative volume. There is a credible catalyst behind the stock as well, and it's a prior day mover. So on top of potential momentum from Friday into today, we also have some news reiterating this SPAC with Rumble linked to Donald Trump, a low float stock, high relative volume. This stock has a lot of great potential today, right? So we do want to be watching CFVI. Now, what I'm looking at here on CFVI is a simple break of the downtrend, right? If we can break the downtrend, team, you have room back up to these pre-market highs, okay? Right now, support's at $14.08. Now, we could actually see this come down into that post-market high of $13.73. So right now, pre-market support is right around 14 to 14.08, right? You do have some support back down towards around $13.73. You even have some support back down towards around $13 here on CFVI. So right now, all we're looking for this stock to do is hold one of these levels of support, find market structure. That's a double bottom. That is a base. That's consolidation. It's a double bottom. It's an area in which you see more buyers than sellers, right? We want to ideally see this break the downtrend, break the VWAP, and really break $15 as well. And if we can do all three of those things, breaking the VWAP, breaking the downtrend, and breaking $15, all right around the same price, we could easily see this up towards around $16 here on CFVI. Anything over 16, play it every dollar to the upside. 17, 18, 19, and then potentially $20 today here on CFVI. Right? We also have ACET, the one that I stopped out on here on ACET. This stock this morning dropping a good press release. They're announcing positive interim clinical data from first ever allogenic, is that how you say it? Allogenic, yeah, off the shelf gamma delta CART investigational cell therapy. So they're announcing, right, the keywords that we need to take away from the press releases. They're announcing positive clinical data from the first ever cell therapy treatment. So ACET, not a bad press release. I shorted ACET this morning because it was a really nice little head and shoulders formation. I see the nice little head and shoulders. I'm getting involved for the short. Didn't crack the neckline. Didn't move to 13. I'm holding. We got the crack, but I was not able to get filled. So what I had to do is cut my position to go ahead and dive into commentary. But right now, I would have still held this position, and I definitely would have considered averaging in and bringing my cost basis up, looking still for this crack of this neckline, of this trend line, and I'm still looking for this to come back down into the low 13s on ACET. So we know what the news is here on ACET. ACET is the number 3 stock on the leaderboard, currently up 42% in pre-market, and it's trading really high relative volume as well. This morning, we're trading 5.6 million shares on ACET. However, on average, we trade around 100,000 shares of ACET. So we have some of the highest relative volume is here on ACET. We have a good press release, and we have a low float stock as well, coming in at 18 million in float, and I still really like this to the short side, but it's okay. We have a long day ahead of us. There's an abundance of opportunity. I will easily make this loss back and put myself in the green on the day. All right, so ACET, right now it looks very bearish. I see a nice little head and shoulders formation we could see play out. Cracking the neckline, we have room back down to 13 to 13.30, and then we're going to have some room back down towards around 12.54, that spiking high, and then down towards around $12 here on ACET. Not only $12 natural support, but $12 support coming from the daily chart as well. Now, if we're really weak and we just completely fade and fall and dump and this stock has no life to it, to the upside, and it is just bearish, and we are shorting this stock. It has room technically back down to 1086 on ACET. Now, let's say the stock holds on up. Let's say it holds the uptrend. Let's say it does not crack to the downside out of this potential head and shoulders formation. Where could we see this go? Well, we could easily see this right back up to that pre-market high of $15, and $15 being natural resistance as well. Now, looking at the daily chart, over $15, we have some room to 16, over 16, room to 1670, and then over 1670, room up towards around 1738 to 1750 here on ACET. So we have some good overhead targets to the upside if we do not crack to the downside out of this head and shoulders formation. We could easily see it 15, 16, 1670. My dyslexia is hitting me hard today. And then potentially up towards around 1738. But like I said, I'm still leaning more towards the bearish side. If I could still be in the shorts, I would. And I'd be looking for this to crack the neckline and for this leg down towards around 13 to 13.13 here on ACET. This is one of the top stocks that I'm watching right out of the gate, team. One of the top stocks that we should be watching. Next, we have LGVN. You're like, what? You're watching LGVN again? Well, yes, I am. Not just because it's been a stock that's been moving over the past 2 to 3 weeks, but because they have a press release that was dropped this morning as well. So LGVN was granted orphan drug designation by the FDA. So that right there is all we need to know. Orphan drug designation by the FDA on LGVN. We see after that press release, it got a nice little pop out of it from around, what, $18.30 up towards around $20.90. Decent little pop, but right now it's really not doing all that much. What we really need to see this stock do in a perfect world is stay above $17.50. Now, if LGVN can stay above and find support back down towards around $17.50 to $17.65, we could easily see one big U-shape pushing the stock back up towards around $25 once again on LGVN. So right now, it's definitely not the top stock we should watch right out of the gate, but it is a stock that's been moving nice over the past 2 to 3 weeks. It is a stock that's slightly flat. It's slightly gapping down, but it's kind of flat. You know, it was down quite a bit more towards around that 18 level. So it's up from those pre-market lows. And we do have good news, and it's a prior day mover. So we could easily see traders come back to LGVN simply because it's a prior day mover. And now on top of that, we have some fresh news and some fresh volume here on LGVN this morning here in pre-market. So again, it's not the number one stock, not the number two, not the number three, but it's definitely a stock we should add to the watch list as a back burner play, just in case we see this stock start to get some action here out of the gate, right? 1750 to 1765 support. Back over 20, we have room to 25 there on LGVN. Next, IOBT. You're probably like, dude, why are we looking at these stocks that have no movement in pre-market? Well, these are some back burner stocks, right? LGVN is a back burner stock, and I think IOBT should be a good back burner stock as well. Why is that? Not just because it had a great Thursday and Friday, right? Not just because it had a couple days to the upside last week, but because we have news this morning as well, right? So they announced third clinical collaboration with Merck, right? In regards to their phase 2 trial. So third clinical collaboration with Merck, in regards to their phase 2 trial. So we have fresh news on IOBT. We have some fresh volume on IOBT as well, but right now it's actually gapping down from around 1090 to 1060. It's gapping down about what? That's about $1 a share over on IOBT. I'm trying to find the float on IOBT since it's in our gap down list, but I'm not even seeing IOBT on the gap down list. So I'll have to go over to Yahoo Finance and get an idea of what the float is. But if I'm not mistaken, it was like a 30 or 40 million in float stock that we should keep on watch. We really should. I think we should keep this one on watch above 950 to 964, and ideally seeing the stock re-break 10, we could easily retest Friday's highs at 1250. And then honestly, after that, 14, 15, and then maybe back up to that all-time high of 1788. If I'm not mistaken, it's a lower float stock. It had some good volume over the past couple of days. I had a good Thursday and a great Friday, right? It had a lot of volume on Friday. Nice gap up, nice push up towards around 1258. And we do have fresh news today, which is why I think we should add this to our watch list for a back burner stock. Definitely not the top stock to watch, but definitely watch list worthy to at least add to the back burner to see if this one has any potential for today. And then last but not least, we're watching TOMZ. Right, so TOMZ this morning, they launched the SteraMist Amazon store, which includes the SteraPack and our BIT solution. So TOMZ was a mover last week. And again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was moving a little bit. Friday with a big gap up, completely giving everything back. Right now, big time push, right? Big time push off the news. Right now, it's giving a lot back. Look at the similarities on Friday and today. Look at that big pop on Friday, right? Pulled back, slight bounce, and then went red on the day. What are we seeing right now? Big pop to the upside, pulling back. We have yet to see the bounce, but if we see the bounce and we see a lower high form, look at what it did there on Friday. Once it bounced, it opened, and it just faded all day. Kind of think that's something that could happen on TOMZ. The last thing I want you guys doing is jumping in to the long side. We see something very similar to Friday where it looks like it's going to pop out of the gate. Now you guys are stuck holding the bag, right? Right now, I'd be looking for a bounce, looking for it to come back down, maybe to short this back down towards around 160 on TOMZ. I mean, it has news. The news is okay, but it's not like the hottest news in the world to where I do not want to short it. I could definitely see myself getting involved in a short here on TOMZ. So right now, we're going to have a little bit of resistance right there around 220. And we have light support right around this 190. So let's see what happens here on TOMZ. If we bounce off 190 and we see some resistance at 220, I may start a short position at 220 for the fade and fall throughout the day. Now, if we hold 190, we re-break and hold above 220, then okay, we're looking good to the upside, right? We could easily see this back up towards around Friday's pre-market high of 248 to 250, and then we could see this up towards around $2.60, which is the 200-day moving average. Now, if TOMZ is strong and it defies my thesis of being a possible short, we could easily see TOMZ rip up towards around 3 to 305 today. TOMZ is a lower float stock. It is 14 million in float. It's trading high relative volume as well. 5 million shares traded today in pre-market, on average 1.5. So we're trading nearly 5 times the average volume today in pre-market, and that press release was dropped at 8:30. So literally within the last hour, we've traded 5 times more volume than we do on average on TOMZ. By the way, shorts on ACET. ACET is a beautiful short right now, guys. All right, so TOMZ, I'm like 50-50 with it right now. Could we see it rip to the upside to 3 to 305? Yes. But before I think we could see that, we need to be breaking and holding that 220 level, right? Over 250 and 260, the 200-day moving average, that's when we could see a nice little 40-cent move higher up towards around 3. Now, I'm 50-50 because I still think it could be a good short. But since I'm 50-50, I sit back and I wait for some confirmation. I sit back and I wait for some validation on, is this a good long or is this really a good short? Either way, we should keep it on watch. The top 3 stocks that I think we should be watching right out of the gate at this point in time, unless I missed something, okay? TOMZ, definitely should keep this on watch as one of our top 3. ACET, definitely should be kept on watch as one of our top 3. And CFVI, I still think we should keep this stock on watch as one of our top 3 at this point in time. Now, we do have ISIG moving on up on the leaderboard now at this point in time. 1.1 million shares traded in pre-markets, on average 43,000 shares, and it's under 1 million in float. What's going on with ISIG? Insignia Systems, ISIG, announces review of strategic alternatives. Wow. All right, let's dive into this a little bit more. Announced today the commencement of a formal process to explore strategic options to maximize shareholder value. Potential strength alternatives that may be evaluated include, but are not limited to, an acquisition, merger, business combination, in-licensing, or other strategic transactions. There can be no assurance that this process will result in any transaction. Insignia has not set a timetable for the completion of this review process and does not intend to comment further unless or until the board of directors have approved a definitive course of action. So here's what we have. ISIG. It's a micro float stock. It's trading high relative volume, but that press release is garbage, right? They announced the review of a strategic alternative. And what they're saying is they will not comment until they have either approved or denied. So it's not even 100%. It's not even 90 or 80%. It's 50-50. We are reviewing, right, strategic alternatives, but we don't know what we're going to do, and it's not even a guarantee that we're going to do something. So until further notice, you're shit out of luck. ISIG, guys, the press release is garbage. The volume is great. The float's great, right? The float is so low. The volume looks fantastic. I don't know. That press release, though, is just one of those that, fuck it, I'm going to short it. I'm going to short it back down to $5. That press release means absolutely nothing. They are making a plan to maybe make a plan. Like Corey said in chat, yes, they're making a plan to possibly make a plan, right? So let's just add ISIG to like the back burner, way on the back burner watch list. But right now, guys, I think we have much better opportunity out there. Let's review options for the day. You guys are ready for options, aren't you? Options, options, options. Hello, shareholders. We would like to announce nothing. ISIG. AM to the DZ. I'm watching AMD today. I still think, in my opinion, we still have room to the downside. I don't think we're in the clear yet. I've been saying this for the last week. I don't think we're in the clear. I wouldn't be looking at, calls. I don't think we're in the clear. I wouldn't be looking at calls. Once again, on Friday, I don't think we're in the clear. Really wouldn't be looking for calls. And look at the SPY on Friday. Right off 460 resistance, slammed all the way down to 449. I still don't think we're in the clear just because we're gapping up $2.50 on the SPY, right? I don't think we're in the clear just because we're gapping up 80 cents on the Qs. I still think we have some room to the downside because I still think there's some fear and uncertainty in the market. So right now, I'm not looking for longs. I'm not, right? I think, buying longs, can you make money? Yes. But if you're patient enough to wait for the best of the best short opportunity, you can make 10 times more money with little to no risk. Well, not no risk. The least amount of risk, okay? Look at how many great shorts we've had over the past week that we've nailed. 3 of the 5 days last week, we nailed puts. We nailed the short on the SPY. $5, $6 to the downside, $10 to the downside, right? Quick, fast, volatile. Those options definitely increase in value very, very quick, right? To the long side, we've had one decent day to the long side, one. So in my opinion, trying to catch a long, you have more risk with that, right? Trying to catch a short, because we're overall in a nice little short-term downtrend and there's still some fear and uncertainty in the market, I think that there's less risk with puts. There's less risk to the short side. And if we're on the correct side of the trade, the right side of the trade, by being patient and waiting for the best opportunity, I think there's more opportunity for bigger profits to the short side as well. So my bias still remains short on the SPY. My bias still remains short on the Qs. So as I go through my options watch list real quick, my bias is still 80% short until I see the market shift, until I see the markets actually out of this uncertain territory. Then we could be looking for some longs. So right now I'm 80% short. That's just me. I'm 80% short, and that mindset has been correct for the past couple of weeks. AMD still looks bearish to me. AMD below 139.50. I'm looking for puts down towards around 134.55 to 135. NVIDIA below 287.50. So NVIDIA below 287.50. I'd be looking for some puts down to 241. I'm sorry, let me recap. NVIDIA below 287.50. Puts, shorts down to 271.40. My dyslexia is really bad today. All right, so definitely looking at NVIDIA for some possible puts. Pfizer, I'm actually looking for some possible calls. So Pfizer above 52.86 to 53. I'd be looking for some calls back to the all-time highs of 55.70 and then possibly 57.50 next there on Pfizer. That's PFE. Above 52.86, I think we have some room back up to the all-time highs of 55.70. I'm watching Pfizer today. Facebook, if we stay below this 308 level, remember 308 was a key level on Friday for puts. Once again, absolutely nailed it. As long as we're staying below 308 to 309 on Facebook, I still think we have room back down to Friday's lows of 299.50 and then down towards around 296 there on Facebook. Watching this to the short side. Apple, starting to look like a little head and shoulders formation on Apple. You can really see it on the daily chart. Left shoulder, head, potentially a right shoulder forming. Sorry, guys. Let me get my right tool. So as long as Apple is staying below 165.50, I think we could see it top out right around 165.50, start to see that right shoulder set in for a potential crack of this neckline, bringing Apple back down towards around 153.50 here on Apple. So I'm watching Apple to the short side today and this week for maybe swinging in the short, okay, on Apple. Walmart, I think we should take that off the watch list, right? I'm cleaning up right now. Walmart, we'll watch that later on. Roblox, I am watching Roblox today. Below pre-market lows, shorting it to 103.30. So Roblox below 107.69. I think we have a great short opportunity down towards around 103.30 here on RBLX. Okay, watching that to the short side. A lot of my plays are short. CRM, I'm taking that off the watch list as well. And then Microsoft, same thing. A lot of these tech stocks, right? AMD, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, maybe Facebook, right? I'm looking at a lot of these to the short side as, again, 80% of my buys remain short. And just looking at the technical analysis, a lot of these stocks still look good to the short side. So Microsoft below 327.69. If we pop up here and we see it get rejected at this 327.69, I would be looking for puts, right? I mean, more or less to short equities, but puts, right? Short back down the Friday's lows of 318.22, and then potentially back down towards around 315.84, and then 311 here on Microsoft. So Microsoft looking for puts, Roblox, puts, Apple, puts, Facebook, puts, AMD, puts. I'm looking to short everything. Everything looks great to the short side, and I'm still leaning more towards the bearish side in this current market. And then Pfizer is the only one I'm looking to the long side. Again, as long as this holds above 52.86, room to 55 on Pfizer. We got 5 seconds to go, team. Let's make it happen. Let's hit it hard, team. And let's have an awesome day. The market is now open. Let's have some fun, team. Let's remain disciplined. Let's remain consistent. Let's keep locking in those big time profits. And let's make this Monday your best Monday you've ever had. Again, CFVI, breaking the downtrend, breaking VWAP over 15 as well. CFVI has potential to 16. I'm still kind of leaning right now, unless we're breaking and holding over 14. ACET, I still think has some potential to the short side. I still think ACET has a little bit of potential to the short side, guys. All right, CFVI right now is the #1 stock that you guys should be watching. CFVI. Room to $16 right now. Support I would actually put you back down at like 1475. I would say like 1475 here on CFVI. I'm short on ACET. I was short on ACET. And I'm still holding 500 shares to the short side on ACET, making up that loss. Making up that $400 loss. Right now, I'm pretty much break even. I'm down about $100 right now. Down about $100, $70. Looking to go ahead and cover for break even on the day on this trade. Holding to see if we crack 13 here. Holding to see if we crack 13 here on ACET. I'm out of ACET. I'm out of ACET. I shorted it at the open below that neckline, and I was able to get back into the short side and recoup about $300 of that initial loss from pre-market. I would say like 1470 to 1475-ish support on CFVI. That's right around the VWAP and right around the downtrend that we broke above as well. Right now, I don't see a lot with TOMZ. IOBT, not yet. LGVN, nothing yet. ACET. Maybe look at it for a red to green move. It's risky, but maybe look at this for a red to green move. But right now, CFVI is the one stock with that 1475 support. Had room to 16. Where'd it pull back to there? Came back down towards around 1468. So, I mean, pretty much that 1475. It held the downtrend that we broke above. That was a clean pullback entry with a few separate reasons for maybe a little early morning scalperoo there on CFVI. Again, like I said, Apple below 165.50. As long as we stay below 165.50, I think Apple could be a good short today. So I'm going to put Apple off to the side because I do want to keep Apple on watch here over the next minute or two. We may have some puts coming on up, guys. Again, Facebook too, below 308 on Facebook. Facebook below that 308. That's a hell of a short right there on Facebook. I'm missing the short, though. I'm missing the short. The 308 was the entry. It's already up about $1.50 from the 308, so I can't chase that to the short side. We're getting very close on NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA below 287.50, guys. This thing could absolutely dump $15 to the downside. So NVIDIA's getting right there. AMD's already confirmed. So AMD is officially below 139.53. So what I'm looking at here on AMD team is a simple retest for the short. So again, AMD, Microsoft, NVIDIA, I'm looking at shorts across the board. Right now, we opened, we flushed on down. I'm looking for the stock to pull back into that prior level of support to hold this down as new resistance. You also have the 9 EMA and the VWAP right there as well to hold this down. If we see it get rejected, I'm looking to enter my short position for the next leg down on AMD towards around 134.55 off a simple retest. I may not get it though. I may just have to buy the bounce on AMD. If it doesn't pop back up and retest for the short, I may try and buy the dip at 134.55 there on AMD. So AMD, that's what I'm looking at there. NVIDIA, I'm looking at the same thing. A crack and a hold below 287.50. I'd be looking for a short. Nothing yet with Pfizer. Facebook, I feel like I'd be chasing this to the short side. It's already down about $2 from my ideal entry. Apple below 164 could start selling off pretty nicely. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity right now in the market, guys, but we're only about 6 minutes in. We're about 6 minutes in, but there's a decent amount of opportunity here in the market right now at this point in time. You know, penny stocks, not a lot. You know, you got CFVI. You know, it's trying to hold on up, but it's a little iffy right now. ACET is still pulling back. ACET has room to fall all the way down to 1255. So all the way down to 1255 is your next level of support here on ACET team. LGVN, we were saying we want to see this stay above 1748. So let's see if this can stay above 1748 here on LGVN. That is your level of support right around that 1748 level, guys. So as long as we hold above that 1748 on LGVN, you could see a nice big red to green move, pushing the stock back above 1890, up towards around 20 bucks here on LGVN. It's still a little risky in my opinion at this point in time. It's definitely a little on the riskier side because we really don't have the volume, but there is decent opportunity. Penny stocks are still doing the penny stock thing, aren't they? Penny stocks are still doing the penny stock thing. Look at the Qs. The Qs still pulling down pretty nice. They're down about 1%. The SPY is pretty much flat. Currently down, not down, but it's flat. You know, we're up about 0.04%, 0.04. So we're pretty much flat on the SPY. We're down about 1% on the Qs. And that's thanks to Microsoft. That's thanks to NVIDIA, and that's thanks to AMD. Still haven't found an opportunity yet on any of these. Haven't found an opportunity on AMD yet. Haven't been able to get an opportunity on NVIDIA yet. TFE, we're still a little early in my opinion. Facebook. Let's keep our eyes on Facebook here. And CFVI is getting absolutely destroyed right now. I would say let's watch LGVN. It's a little bit on the riskier side, LGVN, but I'm just curious to see if the stock holds above the 1745. I'm just curious to see if LGVN can stay above that 1745. You could see one big bounce, see this re-break the open of 1887, and have a nice strong pop up towards around $20. It is trying to form a double bottom. It just doesn't have a lot of volume. That's the only bad thing, is there's just not a lot of volume here with LGVN, which makes it a little bit risky, not seeing the volume that we really want to see. TACO was acquisition. ISIG was the really good news, right? But ISIG right now is actually trying to move on up on the, hey, we have nothing for you kind of news. Like, we're just dropping a press release to drop one. But is there anything worth saying? Not really. So, I mean, looking at ISIG, I mean, it does have room back up towards around 776. Support right now is 603. So you got 603 support with 776 resistance. If NVIDIA can bounce back into that 287.50, I think that's a great short. So if we can see this bounce back into that 287.50 and get rejected off that old level of support as new resistance, I think we could see a nice rejection and see the next leg down to that 271.40 there on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is definitely one of the top stocks we should be watching right now at this point in time, especially for options. But right now, out of all the small cap penny stocks, ACET, not a lot right this second. CFVI, nasty rug pull. LGVN, it's the risky one. It's risky above that 1748. You put stops maybe 20 cents below that level, you may be able to catch this bounce back up to 1887 and then 20 bucks. They're on LGVN. Right now, it looks like traders are here on ISIG, and this is where we need to be as well. Not the best press release, but it's a very low float stock that has attention towards it. So right now, this is where our focus is at as well, as here on ISIG. So right now, got Microsoft bouncing, Roblox bouncing, Apple breaking out to the upside, Facebook reversing here a little bit as well. So we do have a lot of stocks starting to bounce pretty decent. The only thing that I still see that could be a good short would be NVIDIA. And then AMD maybe on AMD. Other than that, small caps, dead. The only thing that I thought was worth it would be like LGVN, right? The only thing that I thought that was like really worth it with putting a 20-cent stop below that 1745 was LGVN for the bounce back up to 1880 and then possibly 20 bucks. So right now you're seeing a little bit of a bounce right off that floor of support, and you're seeing a nice little, almost 75-cent pop there on LGVN. So right now, I'm watching LGVN. I think this one, it could be a nice little sleeper play. Back up towards around, again, to 1880 and then 20 bucks there on LGVN. And then ISIG, like I said, in my opinion, it's a little on the riskier side. It's a very, very micro float stock. I mean, it's under $1 million in float. This thing could move $2 in a second, the blink of an eye. It could dump down to $5 and get halted. It's a little bit on the riskier side. There's really not a lot to go off right here. Definitely not a lot to go off on ISIG. But LGVN was just a tad better, in my opinion. Both risky, but less risk on LGVN compared to ISIG. How's the SPY looking? The SPY, very strong bounce here. And again, what we're seeing is just a technical bounce off the 50-day moving average. So that's all we really saw there on the SPY was a nice technical bounce off of the 50 SMA there on the daily chart. And technically, we would have some room back up to the 20 EMA right around 460. So right now, we're stuck in between two moving averages on the SPY. You're going to have the 50 SMA as support and that 20 EMA as resistance. And that's what we've seen consistently over the past week, is just banging between those two key levels here on the SPY. So we'll have to see where the SPY wants to go. Is it going to have a strong bounce back into the 260s today, We should get a really good idea if we can start breaking above this 456.75 level. Above that level and holding, I definitely think we could see it back up at 460. If we're rejected below that 456.70, staying below that level, we have room back to that 453.55. That's our 50-day moving average. And then honestly back down to 450. They're on the SPY. So let's see. The Qs right now bouncing as well. Everything's bouncing a little bit. The reason the Qs and the SPY are bouncing is we're just bouncing off that 50-day moving average, and that's a key technical level for longs. So it could be, you're right. It could be a little bit of a red to green move on Tesla, but what we're really seeing across the market is these nice bounces off the 50 SMA. I mean, Tesla's starting to bounce here a little bit as well, trying to push back above the 50 SMA. Right now, I'm still a little on the I don't know side. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, long or short on the SPY, long or short on the Qs. I know we're 17 minutes in the market, right? I know we're 17 minutes in. I just still think it's a little too soon, in my opinion, to really determine 100% certainty, like with that gut feeling, like, yes, I'm very confident, long or short. I still think we have a little bit more time to see some confirmation before we start looking at calls and puts, especially on the SPY and the Qs. So HUDI is hitting the breakout scanner. What's up with HUDI? Shares halted to the upside. HUDI is getting a nice little bounce here on very light volume. That's the thing, 150,000 shares, causing the stock to get halted to the upside. So, I mean, HUDI is a low float stock, 3 million in float, trading about 150,000 shares, and it just got halted to the upside. I don't see any news here on HUDI. But let's keep it on watch to see if traders are still here on HUDI. So NVIDIA right now, we came back into the 287.56. We have the VWAP at 288.42. So within about a dollar window, you have pretty nice resistance, and we could see NVIDIA get pulled back down towards around that 280 level there on NVIDIA. So HUDI was halted at 946.27. So 946.27. We'll be live at 951.27. So you got about 1 minute. 1 minute until we are live on HUDI. I got to be honest, I hate the small cap market right now. It's been pretty bad for a while. It has been, right? It has been. I haven't been a fan of the small cap market either. Really, the only thing that's worked for me is shorting the high a day for the rug pull or looking for these big rug pulls for the base and for the rally. So look at this big rug pull. High a day, rug pull, drop, base, rally. So it's either shorting high a day for the rug pulls, which can be risky if not managed correctly, right? Or waiting for the big rug pull, waiting for a base to form, and waiting for it to break out of that consolidation. That's really the opportunity for small caps. Other than that, mid to large cap, that's kind of where the opportunity is, right? I mean, options world, that's really where the opportunity is right now at this point in time. We're seeing some structure set in across the board. It looks like everything's really trying to pop back up here a little bit. But like I said, I'm still not 100% convinced. Gap down on HUDI. Yeah, that was just there was a no news, little to no volume. Like there's no news and there's very, very little volume on HUDI. So I mean, HUDI is a risky one. I mean, in my opinion, so is ISIG because that press release was garbage, but it's actually holding on up, right? ISIG is actually holding on up at this point in time. So ISIG off of the higher low, breaking a new higher high over 712. We have room back up to 775 there on ISIG. So again, right now, team, it's pretty tough small cap market, right? It's a little on the tougher side with these penny stocks. You got ACET. This one's just been fading out of the gate. CFVI dumped right out of the gate. LGVN is the only stock that's been holding that 1750-ish level. It bounced at about 75 cents. You could catch it again for a quick little bounce. That's like the only stock that's risky, but it still has some decent opportunity, is going to be on LGVN, believe it or not. So LGVN right now, still has good opportunity above that 1745. So the only stock that I see right now that I think has good opportunity is LGVN, right? Double bottom, back up to the open, right around 1880 for a possible red to green move. That could push the stock back up towards around $20. That's the only thing that I'm seeing right now that looks somewhat appealing, at this point in time.